Hey guys, Todd from Juno Bait here with
Fisher.
Now, Fisher, you are, okay, this is a multiple choice question. You are A, a fishing expert, B, a future hockey player in the NHL, C, my awesome son, or D, all of the above?
D.
D, all of the above? Good answer. Good answer. Okay, sidetrack. Anyway, back to the video. Second day of daylight savings time, right? It's light out still. This is awesome. I love it. 7 o'clock. Thanks for the dance. Okay, so it's 7 o'clock. I'm immediately, my mind is going to springtime stuff. And one of our favorite springtime things is what? What kind of fishing?
Spring fishing.
Spring fishing is bottom fishing, right? Drift fishing especially with who? With our friend Captain Howard on the Redbeard? Okay. That's kind of irrelevant. Let's get to the good stuff here. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Springtime drift fishing in South Florida is awesome. And it's awesome for a number of reasons. One, it's fairly easy. It's great for kids. You get a lot of action. It's not expensive to do this. It's one of the most economical ways there is to go fishing offshore. Wide range of species. Now, when I say springtime, for us, I'm talking March, April, May, into the early summertime, into June. Lots of species around. Lots of good fishing in 60 to 120 feet of water, right? What kind of stuff do we catch when we go drift fishing?
Snapper.
Snapper, kingfish, African pompano, sometimes a cobia. Have you caught a cobia yet? No cobias yet for you. But all those are fish that you could catch in the springtime drift fish in South Florida. Cobia, snapper, African pompano, kingfish. You know, while you're drifting along, you have dolphins swim up to the boat. Everything's in there in that shallower 90 to 120 feet of water. So let's talk about the tackle that we typically use. You want to tell them about your rod and reel that you like for drift fishing? Tell them about it. You know, for the record, you actually are fishing with a nicer reel than I am. How did that work out? So this is a custom combo that we've got set up for Fisher, and we can actually do this at the shop for other kids out there. Short custom rod, so it's easier for him to handle. Sensitive tip. Small star drag conventional reel that's filled with 20-pound monofilament. We've got the capacity to handle being able to spool out a lot of line. But this is lightweight, right? You can hold this comfortably for all day, right? Adult size, I'm fishing with something similar, just a grown-up version of what Fisher does. This is a 7-foot graphite composite Juno Bait custom rod. Like all of my rods, it's all black because if you build really fancy custom rods, you should just fish with all black ones, right? Sidetrack again, sorry. I'm fishing with the Shimano Torium 20 these days. I like a star drag reel, and just a personal preference. A lever drag reel will work as well. High gear ratio just to get the bait up off the bottom. I'm a fan of a fast action rod that's got a sensitive tip fish. Let's show them here. Let's set yours down. So I like, and I'm still fishing with mono as opposed to braid. I like mono for the stretch, and I don't feel like I pull fish off as much. And if you watch the tip in here, this rod is very sensitive. So I can, feel a very small bite. Fish, give me a little bite. Just a little tap. Tap, tap. Yep. It doesn't take much that we can feel that bite. So a 7-foot rod, reel that can hold somewhere around 250 to 350 yards of monofilament, 20-pound is ideal. There's a lot of people that are switching to braid. I'm still stuck on fishing mono. If you're fishing braid, I like to use a top shot on top of mono just to add some stretch in there. And a little side fact is, I like the mono because it actually is less sensitive than the braid. All the times I've tried to fish braid on the bottom, I actually feel like it's too sensitive. My sinker bumps a rock or I get a grunt, and it just feels like I don't like it. I'm stuck on the old school mono feel. You got a question, Fish?
You have a fish on.
Oh, got a fish on. Okay, so let me show the best rig. Now, this is the rig that it's called a slide rig, and it's a rig that we have talked about in other forms as well. I love drift fishing because it's so easy. It doesn't really take a whole lot of tackle to get going. This is actually the box. I fish on somebody else's boat, go on the drift boat. I mean, this is literally the tackle box that I fish out of. Next to nothing. Of course, I always have a pair of Danco fishing pliers, because how do you go fishing without your Danco pliers, right?
I'm a fish.
Okay, let's get to it. We got more daylight, but we don't have all daylight to kill here. So this is the rig that you're going to use for springtime fishing. It works all year long. It's a rig I've talked about for inshore purposes. People probably thinking, don't you know any other rigs? And I know a lot of them, but this one's just super effective. So on the main line, we'll go with an egg sinker. I take a pound or two of lead with me. I'm going to have 1 ounce, 1.5, 2, and 3 ounce egg sinkers with me. I have told a lot of people over the years, if I have to fish with more than 3 ounces of eggs or of lead while I'm drifting, I'm going home, and I do very much mean that. I can get down pretty good with a lighter lead. So it's a very simple rig here. Swivel here out of my bag of goodies. The egg sinker will slide right on the main line. I always start with a 1.5 ounce egg sinker. It's my most favorite all-around size. Sinker will slide freely on the line. Tie this on with a improved clinch knot or a uni knot, whatever you feel comfortable tying. So the sinker will stop at your swivel. It's part one. Standard barrel swivel, not too big, but you don't want a super small swivel either. Trim the tag in there. And I fish with a 30-pound leader. This is Seagar Blue Label. I used to have a friend who used to say, I forget what he used to talk about, but we always made the joke that whatever he had in his backpack was the best of whatever. So it's my joke for the day. Seagar is my favorite because, well, it's what's in my tackle box. So I always use 2 arm lengths of leader when I make my rig. Now you'll hear people talk about 20 to 30 foot leaders for mutton fishing, and that works. It's just a pain in the butt. It's a lot to deal with. I tend to go with about 12 feet, 2 arm pulls. When I make fisher's rigs, I tend to go even a little shorter. They'll still totally work. Tie that on. And I like 30-pound leader. If it's real dirty water, I will sometimes go up a little bit. If I feel like I'm breaking off a lot of fish, losing a lot, I'll go up to 40-pound. Very rarely do I ever fish above 40-pound leader. I almost exclusively these days am fishing with a single circle hook. My favorite is a 4.0 owner Mutu Light. It's a 5114 size 4.0 that is stuck in the bag here. I promise I'll get out here eventually. That's my favorite hook. Single circle hook over in place of the double or triple hooks, which I will fish from time to time, but that's the hook that I'm fishing. This one. That's my rig. Good there. Okay, and then for bait, sardines are going to be your best all-around bait, without a doubt. And I think a lot of mistakes that people make is they only take sardines with them. Sardines are great. They're what I fish with almost all the time. But also, as a good idea, don't be afraid to take some other bait with you. Take some squid, keep some bonita strips. Don't be afraid to try a different bait, because that can help a lot of times. So we've got the rig tied up. We're there, ready to set up. And when we go to fishing, we want to hook our baits on, whether it's a sardine, bonita strip, squid. We're going to hook it up, get set up, and we're going to drop. Now with drift fishing and the light lead, it's what we call spooling. We are going to constantly let out line. So I'll open it up. We want to be careful about letting the spool fall too fast. Hey fish, go ahead and get the sinker going down for me. Pull some line out for me. So we'll start spooling out, and what'll happen is when the sinker hits the bottom, it'll stop momentarily. You'll feel it just kind of stop, and then it'll continue to go again. Go again. And so you want to continue to let line out while you're spooling. In a perfect world, the sinker's laying on the bottom, and your bait is drifting away as you drift with the current. And you'll notice that, you know, you'll get a runoff where the speed picks up. That's when, oh, hopefully you don't get a backlash like that. And you'll lock it up and real tight on the fish. It's all there is to it. It's just put it in free spool, and you're going to drop, keep your thumb on the spool. Another good way that it was explained to me a long time ago, and it makes sense, and it actually works very well, is you want to drop the bait down, and you want to count slowly to 100. It sounds silly, but you drop slowly and slowly count to 100. If by the time you get to 100, you don't have a bite, you're probably so far out that you're not going to feel a bite, or you're going to have a lot of line removed, and you're going to want to reel back in and do it again. Hope those keys to, you know, some of the ideas with drift fishing helped out. It's a great way to go. It's a lot of fun. It's very effective, and it's something that we'll be back to throughout the year to talk about, show you some of the different stuff. We're going to get out on the water here soon, right? You ready to go fishing with Captain Howard? Yeah. Get out there, try and catch some fish, like get some video of some of this stuff in action. Try this. It'll work. You'll like it. If you have any questions about it, send us a comment. Stop by the shop. I really appreciate everybody that's been by the shop and lets me know you've been watching the video. In all honesty, like those in-person reviews, when you let me know, and if there's anything you want to see or anything like that, it's greatly appreciated. It helps me know what to kind of film and what we should be working on. As always, thanks for watching.
Subscribe to the Juno Bait channel.
Thanks, fish.
And give us likes if you want.